So hello everyone and welcome back to Hemel-Down Model Railway. So today's video is all about the upper section. So without further ado, let's crack on with the video and I'll show you what I've been up to. So this is the first little test of some tracks that I've done up on the top section. All I've done is to just power a set of droppers over the other side of the layout just from the viaduct. So all I'm doing now is just testing this section in here just to make sure that everything's nice and level and that the train can actually go around some of the curves on this top section. Right, so let's give it a little test. So that seems to go around quite nicely, and what I'll do is I'll spin you around just to show you kind of where I'm up to with laying some track. So I'm now up to the third corner up in the back here, and I'm now working on putting some tracks down on this section. I've got a little bit of block of wood just to go into that section, and that will raise that in there. I'm just now fixing this part down, but I'm just making sure that I can get all of the corners and stuff with the right radiuses, which is 4th radius up on the top here. So I've stopped the train on the corner there, just where the station is on the lower level. I've added in some dropper wires. You might be able to see from a distance the red and black wire there. That's just linked into an end piece of the flexi track. What I'm going to do is to remove the viaduct now, add in all the flexi track and the dropper wires, because I've pre-drilled all my holes through to the baseboard so I can get all of that powered up. So what I'm going to do is send the train round and just give you a view from this angle. So I just had to stop the train on this section here, because if I move it back, this is just where I'm starting to now work out the next corner that will go down the length there and then join up to that corner there. So once I've got this piece marked in, what I'm doing is then to draw around all the edges of the track to make sure that I can keep it in the right place, because all of these sections I want to lift out, because I'm going to do all the work underneath and stuff like that. For a while I'm going to keep these sections all in place, just so that I can have the loop around the top going. And then what I'm going to start doing is then wiring in all of the viaduct there, and then start with doing the town scene on the back there. As you can see, all of the supports are in here, so what I've done now is to fix those all in. I just need to now do the edging piece. Some of these tracks here there's a few sort of like bends in and stuff. It's because it's not pinned down yet, and those just need to be straightened up. So I'm going to do that all by eye. But it's quite nice the way it sort of snakes through over on the top sections there. Right, let me take you over to the other side, and I'll just show you a bit of a close-up of my thoughts in regards to the end of the viaduct there coming up onto a top section on here. So for this section here, what I've done is to add in a chock of wood that will become part of a pillar or some rock face, and I'll just use some polystyrene now just to sort of cover it up. And then all of these sections here will be tunnel portals again, and same with the ones that are on the straight there. What I've done is to add some polystyrene, and from the top of this section here I'm going to have a kind of a slope down, and then probably bring it out a little bit further, but then be able to join up onto this grass patch here. So if I come from this side, the slope will kind of finish about here, and I'll just start to bring this up a little bit more. That way I can have maybe like a path or a road or something that can go up and link up onto this section, so it will transition as a nice smooth piece coming all the way on along the top there. So I've just got to finish adding in some of the wood for this section here. It's roughly just put in place at the moment. I'm still gluing these little parts in here, and I'm leaving this section open just as I did on the other side to be able to put points and then to run trains off out through that direction there. This side's got a lot more space than the other side. These tracks will need to be all straightened up, but they will be able to come over a little bit more, especially like this curve. You can see it sort of narrows down and then thins out, so I'm going to bring that in and over a little bit more, which will then transition some of those ones over a little bit more as well. And then it will give me the option of putting points in here that I can lead off tracks up under the sections on the bottom there. So it's a bit of a mess at the moment. As you can see, I've been working on lots of track work stuff on here. I've still got to just glue this piece in here and then add in a couple more supports just in this sort of line here. These ones are now all fixed in place, so they're nice and solid. I'm just going to add ones in down the center, and then one in down the edge there. And then what I'm going to do is to scratch build a load of like tunnels and bridges all along this section here. So I don't want it to look like a massive sort of viaduct. So it's going to have a little bit of rock face sort of leading up into that section there. And then I've got loads of scope to add in scenery all up in this section here, something in there, and then I've still got quite a bit of gap between the back of here. So I'd say I've probably got about 3 or 4 inches before the height of this, so I can add in a little bit of a back scene or some low relief stuff just on the edge there. So I could make a shelf kind of thing off the actual back of that and have some low relief stuff all in there. And then with the tracks over here, so I'd have another one sort of mirroring that to come in onto the second line that will be on here. So at the moment you can only see the one, and then it will be 2 lines all the way down the back there. So once that's all in place, I can then work out what I want to do for like kind of scenery and stuff. Because I've built up this section here, still looking through here, I'll be able to see all the tunnel portals and stuff like that as well. So that makes some nice viewing, seeing the locos going into different tunnels. And then they'll come out through this section here and then hit into the main countryside section. So I hope that's kind of explained or shown you a little bit more progress that I've been doing. What I'm going to do is cut the video here. So this is day number 2 of getting all of these boards in. I'm going to try and link up and finish off this piece here and then start wiring a couple of the pieces of track on here to make a full circuit. So I'll be cutting this video right here and I'll be back in a minute and show you if I can get the full loop going. So I've now wired in the top loop on the top section here. I still need to just sort out a couple of little blocks on the end there just to make that all level, but the main chunk of all of this section is done. I just need to line it up properly. All the track has been connected, nothing is pinned down yet, so this is just going to be loosely based, and then each section that I work I will then pin down, add in more droppers, and then all the scenic stuff, similar to what I've done on this section here really. So all of this is permanent, and then over the other side is all temporary. Just then gives me the option of changing any track plans or points that I can add in the future. So now I've got all of the loop connected up, I'm going to have first test run with a complete circuit. I've added in temporarily a dropper just in down from this section here, so I'm hoping that's enough just to power the whole track. I will be adding more in. This is just a temporary fix just to get all of this bit planned in. Right, so I'm going to set the camera up on the tripod and let's see if I can get a full circuit. Okay, so far so good. We've got power to the track. Let's send this round and see if we get a full circuit. So for a first test run, really pleased with that. The track seems to be nice and smooth. There was no sort of jumping from the loco or anything, and considering I've only got one drop of wire in at the moment, everything seems to be running absolutely perfect. So yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon with that. I'm so happy to finally have this structure kind of prepped and actually have some tracks on it. It's really feels like the layout's coming to life now, and I can actually start showing off the other side of the layout and more of the corners, rather than just showing one side with the scenic stuff. So this now leads me to loads more projects. I've got so much to do now with all of the town scene, station scene, and more track planning to do. So I'm glad that I've managed to kind of get this top section finished in the time frame, which now means with the spring coming on that I can start sort of getting more scenic work done, you know, with the drying times being better, with the temperatures now increasing a little bit. It seems to be a little bit more warmer up in the loft, so yeah, that'll mean that I can actually progress and things will dry quicker than having to wait sort of 3 or 4 days for things to dry. So I'm going to have a little bit of a running session at the end of this video and just show you some of the top section working with, you know, the trains passing underneath as well. So thank you for joining me on this update. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of the progress that's been happening over the last few days. Just like to thank all my subscribers that have continued to support me, and thank you to the couple of people that have joined me on Patreon. So take care, I hope you enjoy the running session, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now. So this running session has definitely made my day. So nice to have 4 locos running around. I've still got 2 more tracks to go, so I can have a 6 train running session. But with the progress of this so far, I'm absolutely blown away. It's really nice just to sit here and watch all the locos go by. I found that nearly an hour's passed. I haven't changed out any locos or anything. I've just been sat on a chair in the middle and just watching these run by. So as I was doing that, I just thought I'd share a few of the clips of the locos going around. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will speak to you all soon. So bye for now.